Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And I think we will just wait 1 or 2 minutes, and then we will start with the session. Okay, so I think we can start. And once again, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Before we start, I just want to let you know that the webinar will be recorded for project purpose. And another important thing before starting is that if you have questions during the session, we invite you to write them in the chat. We have set 10 minutes slot at the end of the webinar to address your question, your comments, and if you have any curiosity. So after this technical information, I can start introducing myself. My name is Jessica, and I'm a project manager at CERN, Startup Europe Regions Network, and CERN is partner of EPICS project and is the one organizing today's webinar. Let me say that I'm very glad to see that this topic has generated so much interest. And as you know, today's session is titled From Connection to Capital, Why Financial Literacy is the Missing Layer in Women-Led Ecosystem. And this webinar is is one of the activities carried out within EPICS project. Probably most of you are not familiar with the EPICS project, so I want to just give you a very quick overview and a bit of context about the project and what EPICS is about. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay, great. And can you also see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, amazing. EPICS stands for Excelling Deep Tech through Place-Based Innovation and Connected Ecosystem for Women-Led Startups. It's an Horizon Europe project launched in January 2025, and it's running until this year, December 2026. It aims to strengthen the European innovation ecosystem by supporting women-led deep tech startups and connecting regional innovation ecosystem across Europe. Also, the project, as you can see here from the map, brings together partners and ecosystem builders from 16 countries. EPICS itself focuses on 4K objectives, which are support and accelerate women-led deep tech startups, expand their market presence in strategic technologies, and improve connections across deep tech ecosystem, and also strengthen cooperation for future deep tech innovators. To achieve these objectives, EPICS is structured around one main activity, which is the acceleration program. The acceleration program, we launched a call last year, and we are now supporting and we have selecting and we are now supporting 20 startups, and we are offering them a financial assistance and tailored support, which means the program includes networking activities and collaboration with innovation actors involving not only the selected startups and the ecosystem builders, but also external stakeholders. And the project also foresees workshop webinars like today, and participation in international events, and also opening learning opportunities for the startups, for the ecosystem builders again, and also they are open to anyone interested in the topic. Lastly, the selected 20 startups will be also benefit from cross-borders study visits, allowing them to explore new markets, build partnerships, and strengthen their international growth potential. And as I was saying at the beginning, today's webinar is part of EPIC's activity. And once again, I'm especially glad to host this session because it addresses something that is often overlooked when we speak about women-led innovation. So today's session will explore how women founders can build social capital through strength networks and collaboration and trust relationships. It will also show how ecosystem can open doors, create opportunities, and support growth for women-led innovation. And to guide us through this topic, today I'm very pleased to welcome Yulia Stark, founder and president of the European Women Association. Just a few words about our speakers. So Yulia has been supporting women entrepreneurs for many years, building international networks and helping women better navigate access to finance and growth opportunities. And today with us also Inge Van Belle, co-founder of Herculean Alliance. Inge supports entrepreneurs in building and scale their ventures with a strong focus on collaboration, partnerships, and ecosystem development. So Yulia and Inge, thank you very much once again for being with us today and for having accepted our invitation. If you are ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. We are
Thank
always
you.
ready. We are always ready. And no, thank you for the opportunity. When you reached out, indeed, EPICS has the same mission and the vision of what Eva does. And it's always great to be connected to other female founders because we know, like from our own personal experience, the challenges that female founders face. And it's without being very hard when it comes to male founders. They also struggle, especially on the early stage. So thank you for having us. As you mentioned, Jessica, we've built European Women Association, and the main focus at that time was to connect ecosystems. Because when, as a female founder, and you're more into tech and innovation, it's a bit theoretically easier to scale. You've got the product, you've got the technology, and then we face certain challenges that many of you ladies know here. But what we've done in the last decade is connecting first the European ecosystem, and in the last 5 years, we expanded into GCC. And one of the reasons why it was a strategical decision is also because we see a lot of money from the GCC moving towards Europe, moving towards the innovation ecosystem we have here. And I think it's a challenge by itself to build this bridge, but then we encounter certain cultural challenges, trust challenges based on the distance in any way we face. And that's why it's an important webinar today, where we will be also diving into these expansion challenges, while theoretically it's possible, but not always feasible. And it's not what you think. It's not always your data room that is the bottleneck of your expansion strategy. So on one side, I do run indeed European Women Association, but I don't do it alone. Luckily, I'm surrounded by very talented, beautiful women who understand entrepreneurship in core. Because on one side, you can theoretically understand the challenges, but going yourself through the journey of expansion, fundraising, that brings a different flavor to our ecosystem. And that's, I'm happy that we are able to share that. And I'm here supported by Inge Van Belle. She's actually calling in from sunny Dubai. And I'm now based here in Belgium. And she's not only a great ambassador of EVA, I mean, I should say, but she's also a great entrepreneur. So Inge, word to you to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Julia, and also thank you, Jessica. Thank you for everyone for joining. And I'm very happy to be here as a female founder for many years. And especially as Julia said, it's not a theoretical topic. I'm not here as a financial expert or an investor at all. No, I'm here as a founder, someone who has built across different markets. Before COVID, we actually built our enterprise in 10 different countries. We've made and I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned some things the hard way, and I've realized along the way that financial literacy is not a nice to have, and it affects how you grow. It affects how you negotiate. It affects how you sleep, which is super important, and also how much freedom you actually have as an entrepreneur, because one of the reasons why we all started is because of the freedom, right? So yeah, happy to be here and to join the conversation and to hear more from you also.
Yeah, thank you, Inge, for the support. We really want, Jessica, if you allow, to have this kind of open conversation today. It doesn't mean that we have all the truth to share. It is an experience, again, a very individual one, or based on the experience of our female founders in our ecosystem. I'd love actually to understand a bit more, guys, in the chat, if possible, those who have joined, to share where you're from and if you're a founder. Just like, hi, I'm from Belgium. I'm a founder of this edtech company. So we understand better who is in this room. And of course, you have the opportunities to ask questions, exchange information. I think that would be very valuable. So don't be shy. Please share where you're from and if you're a founder or not. Jessica, do the members have an opportunity to chat as well? The rights?
Yes, they can write yes in the chat. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. So please don't be shy. I'd love to know, are you a founder, or you're maybe considering joining this self-employed venture? That would be interesting to know. You've got epics for sure to go to, hopefully in the next call, but that would be good to know. Where are you at that founder stage? What we understood from Jessica's team previously, 20 startups were selected. Probably many of you are here in this call, and you've been learning a lot about, I would say, the numbers, probably the importance of networking. They will help you with the expansion of the networks internationally. And I think that's important one that Jessica mentioned. When you are building a technology, that gives you the opportunity to scale. You are not limited to the country you're in. And that's, distance not always makes it easy to build trust. When we speak about money, I don't know how, by the way, I'm an investment banker by at my first career. So I used to work in Geneva, Luxembourg, and Brussels. And my main job was to manage wealth of our clients. And what I've learned as in my initial career as an investment banker, when we speak about money, in your case, it's access to capital, right? We are speaking about trust. Trust in you as a founder on the initial stage. We are not speaking about series A or B here, right? You are on the early stage. You as a founder has the key to accessing the capital. And we'll dive deeper into how and where. But let me go through the comments. So we've got Katerzina. My daughter's name is Katerina, and similar one. You're from Poland into biotech. Interesting. Then we've got Alison from Ireland, supporting female founders. I think, Alison, I know you. I've seen you before online. Louisa from Epic's ecosystem and her Ventures Hub. I think very valuable platform to be part of for everyone here at the platform. Mariam from Norway. Technologies. Okay, as an actually, you see, that's a good one, Mariam. You're already sharing your LinkedIn to be networking and connecting. I think that's the reason why ladies are organizing it. We've got ladies from Lisbon, Portugal, Isabella, Berlin. Welcome, Isabella, a bit closer. Climate founders. Okay, impact. Again, that's something we see. We got biotech, climate. Christina from Romania. She's a founder herself. And then Borjana from Bulgaria, founder of Regina. Not sure what Regina does. Sounds like something with longevity. Petra we've got from Slovakia, but living in Switzerland. Women's Circle. So what I've seen now, we have a lot of female ecosystem support, and then we've got some tech founders indeed into like biotech and in consultancy, ecosystem builder again. And I think that's the beauty of what women naturally have. We have that need somewhere to connect, to support each other naturally. By our experience, ladies, what we have seen that there are two layers when it comes to accessing capital. And why do I think there are two layers? Again, speaking from our personal experience over the last 2 decades almost, working with founders and helping them expand. On one side, we've got numbers. It should make clear, right? You need to understand your numbers when you're fundraising. So we've launched, for example, an accelerator program with the Ministry of the Economy of the UAE. And it was a beautiful experience because we had so many different nationalities. You can imagine we have almost 200 nationalities in Dubai. And everybody comes there to fundraise, to grow and scale their company. Competition is massive. And trust me, in Europe as well, competition is big. So it's not easy one to differentiate yourself or to stand out and be visible in the right networks. So when you are thinking about accessing capital of family, friends, or to say fools sometimes, I think that an important question is to ask. First of all, do you understand the opportunity, the scalability of your business? I think most of you who've been to Accelerate, you do, right? I mean, that's one of the jobs. You understand your numbers, you understand the cost per lead, you understand the lifetime value of your customer, especially when you are working in tech, and you understand how much it would cost you to gain a certain market share with your company, right? So that homework you normally do when you're building a data room. And we've done that with the Ministry of Economy to help female founders, regardless of their nationality in the UAE, to access capital. And the first, of course, you go through the business model. Sometimes you review them. And what we've experienced is that founders, first-time founders, by the way, are so pretty much emotionally involved and engaged and in love with their solution that they don't see the competition that the market has been creating. And one of the maybe biggest competitions we have seen in the last 18 months, and I'm not sure if you agree, by the way, feel free to give your feedback while I'm speaking. Inge is here, so she will make sure that she reads, or at least makes me notice a relevant comment. AI. Ladies, I'm really inviting you to explore that biggest competition that's out there that can innovate or kill your business or innovate your business. And in some countries, like in the GCC countries, most of them, AI became an accelerator of most of the businesses. So still you have to stand out, but the beauty when you're fundraising is that it doesn't cost as it used to cost to grow and scale your company if you're using the artificial intelligence wisely. And there are different tools, and I'm not here to promote any of them. I just can share those that we and our team are using. And we've seen that by integrating AI tools in our daily work, from research to reporting to communication plans, what you need when you're fundraising, right? This is a fraction of a cost and quite detailed. And I'm not speaking about ChatGPT here, nothing against ChatGPT, but there are so many other better tools when it comes to research, especially those who are in biotech or edutech. Do not underestimate the value that AI could bring to your scale-up process. And probably other networks here present would also follow the importance of AI. We are now applying with European Women Association another European call project that will be running, and the European Union is asking female founders to focus on the power of AI within their daily processes. So that's one thing. I mean, technology is something, it doesn't stand still. And as a female founder, I'm inviting you to look honestly at your processes and understand how can you be faster, better than others in your competition round as well. Because as an investor myself, I'm not only looking at the product that you have created, we are also looking at your team. And and I'm not sure in what stage you are. If you could help me, if you could write down, are you pre-seed, seed, are you idea stage, do you have an MVP? Because depending on the level of your stage of your company, you will encounter different challenges. And so in the initial stage, when we work with the governments launching acceleration programs together with investors, so it is important to get the feedback from our investors first before we translate it to you as a founder. And what we've seen that myself and other investors, they are looking at your product, at least have an MVP, right? And on the other side, the team. It's rarely that a founder, let's not put a gender on it, that a founder gets funded when it's operating on its own. You did have seen, I think, few exceptions that are like one gentleman who built $1 million business with AI. That happens and will happen more and more. But traditionally, we do look at the strength of the team and diversification of the risks. So if you are building a tech company, I hope you have a CTO at least in your co-founders list, right? So all the logical things, like I'm not saying anything new, but first of all, I do invite you to do some homework. We are working, for example, with Claude, and with Claude AI, we could optimize a lot of challenges we had to scale our business. And you would think like an NGO has probably completely different challenges than you in biotech or in edutech, but it doesn't. We also fundraise every year, only our client is the government, and it's a much more slower decision process than a business angel that would invest 100K in your business. At the core, it's all the same. So let me dive a bit more into, besides understanding your numbers, right? And your competition and your market strategy. We have seen that a lot of funding of the first initial funding goes into marketing, into the promotion. And this is where I'm inviting you to explore different AI marketing agents to minimize the cost that you will encounter in that process, and maybe invest more in your technology, improve it, and differentiate yourself from the competition. That's one thing. Secondly, what we've seen, ladies and few gentlemen I've seen here, is that we women, and I'm generalizing right now, all right? Don't get upset. I'm generalizing. We do not invest strategically in our social capital. When it comes to fundraising, ladies and gentlemen, you at early stage, you are providing your trust. your network, your contacts, your social network, your trust that you've built over the years is your key. Meaning that if you need to fundraise now, 200, 300,000 euros, dollars, pounds, it's a bit late to start networking. I'm inviting you to already now, before you plan to fundraise, start building strategic relationships. That means networking. We all know the importance of networking. But I'm a mom myself. I do not have much time to go out there and drink cheap wine in these dusty hotel rooms in Brussels or Antwerp or Dubai or whatever. You need to be in places where your potential investor sits or where the potential introduction can be done to that investor. Does it make sense? So that means you don't just randomly go everywhere, all right? You do your homework. That means you would identify your target audience. It's like with marketing. You've done this for your business. Now you need to do it for your investor, the same exercise. You identify where is the sweet spot. And probably it's not a VC at this stage, but again, I made my mistake and there may be some exceptions here. But the question is like, who is willing to invest at this stage in your business? At what stake, to what percentage? That's an exercise that you need to make before you go out.
Julia, maybe we can go to the next slide.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm not sharing the slides. Yeah, thank you. So it is important, ladies, to understand where they sit, how they invest, how decisions being made. So you build trust first, all right? You do follow up. With all due respect, a lot of women I've met personally, we go out, we network, we do not build relationship. And I think a good advice in any social building capital is that we start from giving. What I've seen a lot with female founders, in general, when we go out, we said, this is my pitch deck. I'm raising, I don't know, 500K. Can you look at it? And most of the time, the answer would be, if you are in the UAE, inshallah. And if you are in here in Europe, like, send it to me by email. I look at it and nothing happens, right? And that's the importance to understand and connect on personal level. When it comes to fundraising, guys, people are bombarded, especially investors, with a lot of pitch decks. And when you can build a genuine trust relationship with the person that's standing in front of you, bring them value, connect them first to potential co-investor maybe, or a potential client or a partner, it differentiates you from 90% of the founders who are running around with pitch decks and their name cards. So that's, I think, an important one, prioritizing, following up, building trust in relationships. That doesn't happen. And by doing a proper homework, you need to focus. That's a tip I used and I'm happy to share. When you're networking with potential investors, there are communities around it. Focus on the organizer. He knows who's in the room. He knows who's trusted, who's the real investor, who's there just for the wine. Okay, so please ask for the list. I'm not asking, you don't ask them to give the contact details. Ask for attendee list and the company they represent. And the beauty is that you can go on LinkedIn and reach out to that person and follow up and have a one-on-one meeting, potentially presenting your deck. But please take your time. Money loves trust. I'll keep it here. Let me go to, if there are any questions now, feel free to drop in the chat, and then I'm happy to follow up on that maybe in the later slide. Something, ladies, of importance, value, and especially in certain regions, is who introduces you to the investor. Who? It says a lot about the credibility of your project as well. So if you are fundraising, depends on the amount that you're fundraising. Maybe it's enough to go to the business angel community, and maybe you need to go to a more professional investor at that stage. But this is where I advise you, even if you personally could directly reach out to that investor on LinkedIn, Look to whom is he's connected. And maybe that credibility of the person that introduces you to that person will bring your credibility up as well. But it can happen in the opposite direction too. Be mindful about that. So build before you need the money, that trust, reach out strategically, follow up, take the list, follow up on LinkedIn, and bring value first. Coming to the conversation that you bring the opportunity to the investor and not asking for money is a different energy. And that's the homework you need to make when it comes to your numbers. Understanding your numbers, I think, and money and your business model and the scalability / the exit strategy is the main question in this exercise. Unfortunately, we cannot go dive in all individual business models of yours, but please don't be too much in love when it comes to selling your services or a company till you understand the competition as well. AI, I mentioned, that is your biggest, I would say, tool, help, support on a fraction of the price that you are investing. These topics, you as a founder, it shouldn't be difficult for you when you speak about the valuation of the company pre and post money. You are getting some funding from the EU. I think Epics have supported you in that, and that's the beauty of this kind of free money. This is so rare nowadays to get. Dilution. Every time when a new investor comes in, your pie of the piece of your pie is shrinking. Indeed, having the right negotiations is important. The pro rata rights. Think about that's a negotiation power right here. You having the rights to buy your own the company share in the future. What if the company is being closed? I know it's hard to think about it, but who's getting paid first? You'll see a lot of investors are putting themselves first on the list before you are being paid. They have different convertible loans. I would advise most of the founders to focus on that and that early stage. And then, of course, who's your co-founder, right? So before you go into the first founding round, it is important to understand with what percentage are you stepping into negotiation, right? So you don't become the minority shareholder with nothing to say on a very early stage. It would happen with time, trust me, but in the initial stage, be very mindful in that conversation. And then we see that women tend to forget to pay themselves out. I'm guilty of it as well. And then we see you got your business running. I know it's challenging already, but then suddenly you have your personal finances. And this is where the challenge lies. Budgeting, investing, and planning, ladies, on your personal finance is a must. I'll be sharing a few examples with you as well. But first, I'll give the word to my dear colleague Inge, so can she go dive deeper into scalability of your business.
Yes, indeed. And thank you, Yulia, for sharing all this. And yes, I agree, because as we said, as you could see on the slide, personal finances and business finances should not live in the same or in a fog. It's very important to know your personal monthly baseline and know what you actually need to live, because that tells you what the business needs to carry, and it helps you separate real financial pressure from fear. So that brings me to one of the biggest lessons that I learned as a founder, that revenue is not the same as cash flow. So revenue is ego, I say, and cash flow is oxygen. And this statement is mine, and I stand by it, because I learned this the hard way. As founders, what do we want? We want to sell, right? Because we're so in love and so passionate about our projects or our product or services. So we get so excited about the revenue. Then we have a client or one big client. That's always dangerous. Or several clients. We have a signed contract. We have our pipeline. We have a beautiful forecast. And of course, revenue matters. I'm a salesperson. So yes, I absolutely say revenue matters because it gives you confidence. It creates momentum. And yeah, honestly, it just feels good. But revenue is not the same as money in the bank. A signed contract does not pay salaries, and a big project does not remove cash pressure if the payment terms are terrible. And I can tell you, especially when you're a founder and you have your big government or big company that wants to buy your services, this is where they will get you. They will get you at the payment terms. So if you're growing, growth can actually make your cash situation worse, because if you need to invest first, if you need to hire people, and if you have to deliver first before you actually get paid, and then you only get paid 60 or 90 days, well, who's gonna pay for that? So you're actually playing a bank, which is absolutely not your role. And it happens so much, and we get sandwiched between our subcontractors, our employees, and then our client who's not paying. So that's why I say revenue is ego. And it's often what people applaud. But the oxygen, the cash flow is the oxygen, and it helps you to breathe. And it will determine if you will sleep at night, and if you actually, or whether you can say no to bad deals, and whether you can negotiate from your own strengths, and that you actually have that freedom that I mentioned before. So one of the biggest shifts that you can make is just stop asking how much can we sell, but start asking where does the money actually land, and what do we need to pre-finance, where's the real margin, etc., and what happens if the client pays late. So yeah, this is for me a super important point. And then when we talk about financial literacy, for me that's a key aspect of everything that is well-being. Now, this is a topic, everything that is well-being for people, not just founders, but also for employees, is something that is very close to my personal world. My company, Herculean Alliance, what do? We've built a platform around everything that is engagement and well-being. We do that through surveys, we have gamification, and we focus on the employee experience. And I also wrote this in my book that is called Employee Engagement, What Else? Because for me, well-being is not just a fluffy concept, it is something that you can observe, that you can measure, and that you can design for. So a lot of people, when they hear the word well-being, they still think about the yoga pants and the matcha and the step challenges, fruit baskets, etc., which is great, of course. And yes, physical health matters absolutely. Movement matters. What you eat matters. But if we only reduce well-being to that physical side, we miss a huge part of the story. And when we look at founders, that well-being is much more integrated. As an employee, maybe you can still talk about the balance private life and work life. As a founder, sorry, that doesn't exist. And if you can't handle that, if you can't stand that heat, stay out of the kitchen, honestly, because work is life, life is work. The two will always get mixed. And especially if you're a mother, this is something that you will have to deal with, and that you will have to find a balance with. So for me, yeah, so if you look at yourself as a founder, whether you're a man or a woman, it's always the same. The well-being of a founder is a business risk, especially in founder-led businesses. So you have to take really good care of your well-being. So if you burn out, your quality, your services will drop, your client energy will drop, the team energy will drop, and then the business becomes super vulnerable. So for me, well-being is 5 pillars: physical, mental, social. Social, of course, good friends and good other female founders and ecosystems that can help you, but then the financial well-being. So it's not just about being able to talk to investors and to understand the term sheet, but also knowing about your baseline. So what do I need to earn personally every month? What does the company make every month, etc. So the goal is not to be obsessed with money, but the goal is to stop secretly being controlled by it. Financial literacy is not about becoming cold, hard business bitch, let's say, or purely profit driven, but it's about reducing that hidden pressure, so you have more space for yourself to create and to make these decisions from strength.
And maybe something to add, because at the end, when we work with our investors, of course, number counts. We need to understand what's the exit strategy, and that's not negotiable. Yes, the reason why Inge mentioned the importance of your mental and physical well-being is because you are the founder, you're running your business. For the investor, that's a big risk. If you get sick, if you burn out, if you refocus on something else, my money, investors' money is lost. So one of the things that we often speak, and maybe it's not often, it's not ethical correct when you get a question, do you have children? Are you planning to get any? How old are the kids? And I do understand on one side it's not ethical to ask, on the other side, as a mother of two and kids that got sick when they were little, that did took away my energy and focus from my business. It's the reality. If you don't have the right support system, your business can and might suffer from this kind of challenges. I'll now stop sharing these slides. I want to just give you a small exercise to do with me, or I'll share with you a calculator, because sometimes when we run our business, and by the way, we have our surveys, most of the women do not pay themselves out on time. They pay everybody else but themselves. But I'm inviting you to remake that exercise, and I'll be sending these links after these webinars with Jessica's team, and she can disseminate it with you, the slides as well, so don't worry, you'll have everything. But something, let me share an exercise. So if you, when it comes to financial well-being, it is actually about here peace of mind. When you have a peace of mind, when you know the bills are paid, right? You can fund your company, you can fund your lifestyle, and you pay the bills at the end of the month. And we underestimate the little things we can do on a daily basis, like investing and budgeting and saving. And I want to share just simple tools that I'll be sharing with you as well, but I'll give you a simulation. Let me see if I can, I will share this. Or can I share the whole screen? Yes, I'll share that. Can you see my screen now? I cannot see if you
Yes,
can.
we can.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, guys, this is just investment growth calculator. Very simple one. You can play with it yourself. And I just recently did for myself. If I would invest a few €100, let's say 500, I'll do it consciously. The reason I took annual interest rate, because I'm investing over the period of 20 years, so I'll be retiring. I'm 42 right now. And I took an example of, I'm not sure if you can see this slide as well, this page. So I just took Vanguard Growth Index Fund, just the most best performing. I'm not promoting anything. It's just an example how index funds work, right? What kind of companies are shares are in there. So you need to educate yourself on the investment, personal investment strategy as well. So you can find with your own bank a lot of different index funds that are more into growth oriented. The minimum investment you can find, it depends. I'm going to scroll down to show you what kind of companies are there. If it shares, voila, you've got Nvidia, you've got Apple, you've got Microsoft, as you see. So it's like large stocks, growth companies, and this Vanguard, as an example, it's somewhere I invest personally in, and they generate on average 18% annual rate. So it's a more risk investment fund, it's a growth fund, but because we are investing longer than 10 years, we can diversify the risk and stretch over the years. So just simple calculation, if you would be doing that €500 a month, you would in nominal invest 120. But because we are speaking about compounded interest, right? You are retiring with €1,154,500. I think that's a beautiful exercise to make, that sometimes little things compounded give you more peace of mind when it comes to money. Do not underestimate your own personal financial well-being and of that of your family, all right? Other questions are often asked by founders who are in the growth stage. It's like, should I buy or should I rent? And let me, you can make the same calculation if you would rent or buy, and the hidden cost of the real estate investments are there as well. The notary, the taxes, and everything that comes along and stretched over a decade or more, you will see that sometimes, I know it's anti-Belgian approach, but sometimes renting financially is better than buying. And again, we'll share this calculation with you as well. And another, there is a conscious spending simulator. You can, again, it's more for younger generation, and then more on a household budget. So you can play with the salary. Again, pay yourself first out. Again, you play with it, and then you can see what is your rent or the mortgage. And you've got a beautiful simulator if you would invest or not invest. In 30 years. Like, imagine, I mean, the numbers are just mind-blowing, and I really wanted to share with you that sometimes little things give you more peace of mind financially, but it does start with you understanding your numbers. You need to be honest when it comes to your business, how competitive and scalable and exitable this business is, and then be much more strategical when it comes to networking and building your social capital. Let me go back to the slides so I can, okay, so we spoke about the financial, something that's being underestimated. And we've been working between GCC and Europe in the last 18 years. So we can compare the challenges founders have when they scale. I heard there's somebody from Poland, there's somebody from Norway. Well, trust me, when you are now fundraising with the investors in Abu Dhabi or in Qatar, you will have certain challenges. And I'll give floor back to Inge because she's an expert on that topic.
Yes, indeed. And thank you, Julia. Yeah, so yeah, three patterns we see here when we say like capital goes beyond tech and finance, especially when you think you can have the best idea, have even good access to strong funding, strong technology. But if you misread the context and damage trust, or if you build the wrong team culture, you're back to square one. So Julia mentioned the pattern. The first pattern that we see here is indeed the region. Look, I've built and worked across different markets, not just in Europe. We always think European is just, or Europe is one unified market. Yes, it is, but when it comes to different cultures, it's completely different. I've organized events in Poland and Lithuania, also in Spain, because that's the name that I saw. So in these countries, I can tell you, starting there is completely different, just only in Europe. Can you imagine? We've started our business also in the US, starting in New York. That's by far the hardest thing I've ever done. If you think you can do something, please try to get some attention of some customers in the US or in New York. It's super hard. And then, as Julia mentioned, as the Middle East, as Europeans, we have a tendency to give trust from the first impression. When somebody comes to you and you know somebody who knows somebody, yeah, you trust that person. Well, here in the Middle East, it's exactly the opposite. You need to build trust, and it takes time. And if you think that you can build your business here in just 6 months, 1 year, that's very rare. So I wouldn't say too much that you can actually start anywhere or scale anywhere with your product without knowing the region. Now, the second thing is reputation. This one is hard because, as we all know, reputation takes a long time to build, and it can be damaged very fast. And this is something that I also experienced myself. And thinking that you can be completely protected against it is a bit naive. Some of you will experience it at some point. Sorry, especially when you become visible. When you start entering bigger rooms, not everyone will cheer for you, and sometimes you will be misunderstood, and sometimes competitors will try to position you in a certain way. And one wrong position or perception can travel much faster than 10 good facts. And yes, it can be very unfair, but you cannot control what other people say. What you can control is how consistent you are yourself. So stay factual, stay calm, keep showing up, and keep delivering. Protect your name early. And when your trust is damaged, recovery will happen, but it can take more time than you would expect. So as we say in my country, trust arrives on foot and leaves on horseback. So this is something that you definitely should remember. And then, of course, the third one, and I'm going to keep that short because I'm very conscious of time, is the team and culture. My favorite topic, obviously, because that's where I specialize in. I'm just going to say, um, your vibe attracts your tribe. Culture is something that you can not always smell or that you cannot always see, but it's there. As soon as you start building a team, it's going to be there. And it's better as a founder that you hold a pen and that you spend enough time and energy building that culture very consciously.
Thank you, Inge. And indeed, Jessica, the time is running, and I wish we could chat more with the ladies and few gentlemen, courageous ones that joined the call. But something we hear a lot is there is unconscious bias, and you need to be aware of it to finalize the challenges of fundraising. A lot of investors, and you know the numbers, it's less than 2% of the VC capital going to female founders, so nothing new to tell here. But one of the reasons is just because the investors are not there yet. I mean, in that industry, when you speak about maybe when it's with children, family, fertility, education, a lot of founders, female founders, are in these industries where the investors are not. So one of the solutions could be pitching to female founders and female investors. Could help you to close the gap, or have very strong numbers that regardless of the industry, the investor sees the value in it. I won't go into that. And maybe final slide, quick ones, please share. Inge, maybe a few things you want to pick from here before we close up?
Yeah, sure. Maybe so we've got a few questions here, so I'm happy to answer a couple of them. So a myth about women and fundraising that needs to die. Well, I think it's clear. A myth that women are not ambitious enough. I don't think it's true. I think many women are extremely ambitious. They're sometimes more honest about the risks, and they're not always trained to package confidence as certainty. So that's one. And maybe another one is one thing you'll automate this week. Well, referring to what I said earlier, something that I'm working on is anything that can help me see faster what is happening in the business. And that's mostly cash flow reminders, invoice follow-up, and everything that is pipeline visibility. So I think as founders, we don't have a lot of time for admin. So let's just try not to waste our energy chasing information manually, because that's draining and it's boring and it's taking too much time.
So let's go back to AI. All right, Jessica, the floor is back to you. And let me stop sharing.
Yes.
Slides.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, we really appreciate. I mean, the presentation and the topics that you have attached. So thank you so much, and also for the tips that you have shared with us today. And so before wrap up, I don't know if there are any questions, any curiosity you want to ask Yulia or Inge, as they also working in the Middle East. If you have something to ask them, or you want to comment something, so please feel free to write in the chat.
I'm sharing also my LinkedIn profile. Maybe Inge, you could do the same.
Yes,
feel free to reach out by email as well. Epic's team can share with the contact details. If you have questions later, don't worry. You can reach by email or LinkedIn directly.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Yulia. And then, of course, we will share also with all the participants the presentation, so they will have also access to the presentation. Regarding the recording, I have first to check with the Epic's team, and then in case we will also, if you give me the permission to share it, I will also share the recording with the participants. So, yes. Any questions, curiosity? No, seems no. Everything was clear.
Everybody's still here.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
don't know, Julia
thank
and
you.
Inge, we have 5 more minutes? Do you want to add something before wrapping up?
Um, No, I mean, it's such a broad topic on when it comes to access to capital. And I think here, based on our experience, again, I think be on time, start now. And something that actually one of the founders that I personally invested in a few years ago, he did something very curious, and it might work with for you as well. He wasn't ready to be funded when he reached out to me like 3, 4 years ago. And I said, yeah, keep me in the loop. But he was doing so once a month. He would send me an update of all the innovations and iterations he did within his software. And so that gave me more trust. And then he would sign up a big client and he would WhatsApp me. It's like, oh, Julia, like I'm celebrating. I wish you were here. And so I was so in the, I was on all the milestones there. Well, and I didn't invest yet, by the way. And it's when I saw the traction, I saw the first clients, this is where I joined and we negotiated again the value at that time. But that's a good one to, even if the investor says no, it doesn't mean it's no forever. Make sure you follow up on your successes and share your successes with your potential investors that you really want. So you choose the investor, not vice versa. Remember that. And that's a relationship that can grow into more and more because your first investor is often the one who does the follow-up rounds or introduces you to the other follow-up investor. And that's why I'm saying building that trust in social capital is much more important than your pitch deck right now.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so no questions, no nothing. Okay. Well, once again, thanks a lot to all the participants, to Julia and Inge. And before wrapping up, I just want to remind you that this was the first Epics webinar series. And in the upcoming weeks and also in the upcoming months, we are delivering more webinars and also some workshops. So we will reach you out, informing you about the following sessions. And so thank
Thank you.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Everybody, good luck with the fundraising and the growth. And feel free to reach out to us if you have any challenges or advice needed. And thank you. I think from Startup Europe, but also from Epics to make this possible and bring these talented women together in one cohort and funding them. So walk the talk beautifully. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
You
Bye.
too.
Bye. Bye.